Hi, I'm Kelsey, and I thought I would just make a video today about my feelings about the book Annihilation versus the movie Annihilation. If you haven't read the book or you haven't seen the movie, there will probably be spoilers in this video, so I would be cautious when proceeding, so you've been warned. So my husband and I recently went on a 11-hour car trip to Detroit, and we listened to Annihilation on the way because I had seen some kind of sneak peek that the movie was coming out. If you're watching this video, I'm assuming that you know what the book is about, but I guess I can give a little synopsis just in case. A big chunk of land has been consumed by this unexplainable thing. The company called the Southern Reach is sending expeditions in to try and discover what's causing this, how do they prevent it, what can they learn from it, basically to just observe and learn. So they send in expeditions, and the first expedition comes back and says, oh my gosh, this place is great, it's like the Garden of Eden, it's nothing I've ever seen is as beautiful as this place. The second expedition goes in and they all commit suicide, and the third one goes in and they all kill each other, and the 11th one goes in and comes back totally changed. They're not who they used to be. They can't connect to anybody, and then they die within a couple of weeks of an extremely aggressive form of cancer. So now they're sending in the 12th expedition, which is where our main character is. She is referred to as the biologist. We're not given names in this book. They are referred to by their job titles. So the biologist is the main character, and she gives us some background on her life. You find out that her husband was one of the expedition members in the 11th expedition, and he came back totally changed. So now she's going in. All girls are in her expedition. There's the surveyor, the psychologist, the anthropologist, and the biologist. And they go in with orders to observe and record information about the area. But the longer they're in there, the more they realize things aren't quite what they seem. They find this topographical anomaly, which most of the people call a tunnel, but the biologist calls a tower, and they go in and they observe it. And the whole point is, do not get contaminated and do not get affected by Area X. But guess what happens to the biologist? Yep, she gets infected, and she even calls this infection a spark inside herself that changes things for her. So pretty much the group starts falling apart at this point. They don't get along, and just all goes downhill from there for the rest of the book for as far as camaraderie goes. And they start making these massive discoveries of things that just boggle all we are taught about how biology works and how ecosystems work and even how human beings function and work. It's a really, really beautiful, compelling book, and amazing world building, and a lot of really great characters, and some real creepy stuff. Not gonna lie, some pretty creepy things. My husband sometimes had a little bit of a hard time with the author's writing style, Jeff Vandermeer, so he had to get a little bit past that. Jeff tends to write in these really prolonged, very eloquent descriptions of things, and he goes into very deep detail about all of these things. It's sometimes hard to wade through all of this description and get to like the meat of the story, but I feel like in this instance it was appropriate because Area X is such an immersive experience for these people who are going in. They're not really supposed to even be communicating and interacting their thoughts and feelings with the other people around them, and so it's just like it's a solo experience, and all that these people have are their thoughts swirling around their head, and they're just bombarded by these out of this world experiences. I think Jeff's writing style really reflected what these people must be feeling and reflected the way their thoughts must be moving. I really enjoyed it. So the book was great and made me buy Authority. I had another Audible credit, and we listened to Authority on the way back home. The author did his job. He wrote a very good book that made us want to buy more books by him. So but now the movie. Do not watch the movie if you expect it to be anything like the book. Now the movie is beautiful. It's beautiful. There's such great images that they have conjured up out of what Jeff Vandermeer described as Area X. And a lot of the things, flowers who are in the shape of people, you see them and you feel, yes, oh my gosh, that is exactly what it's supposed to look like. And these primordial forests and swamps, they nailed the world, you know, and the horror and the wonder of it. And then there is this story, which is the whole point of a book and of a movie, and they are not the same story. The only similarity is that there is an Area X and there are expeditions sent in, and they have a lighthouse. Like, all the attacks were different, all of the characters' jobs were pretty much different. It was so frustrating because, you know, they buy the movie rights of a book because they see something in this story that they think is compelling enough to present to a large audience in a movie form. But then they get the movie started and they don't put any of the book in it. It's just really frustrating because I think that the story in the book was a lot more compelling and would have really pulled a lot of people in. Like the tower and the crawler and the fact that these organisms are forming words on the walls, and a creature who has shed its human skin and become this horrifying monster. And the things that were happening in the movie didn't happen in the book. They tried to pay homage to the tower and the crawler at the end with that lighthouse thing and the tunnel and that weird thing that looked like it was made of metal. It just totally fell through and it was totally disappointing. I have to give the movie like a lot of credit because the soundtrack or the score spot on with what I felt would have been playing in the background of the book if there, you know, was a score to that. So it really invoked the feelings that I felt when I was reading the book and what I thought the people would be feeling when reading the book. If you liked the book, don't expect anything out of the movie. Not the same story. If you can separate the two, you might enjoy the movie. It's cool to look at and it's cool to listen to, and it's a little bit creepy at times. The book's creepier, so I definitely recommend reading the book. Absolutely read Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. If you feel differently or if you feel the same and just want to talk more about it, you can comment if anyone has any opinion, and I'd be happy to talk about it. And thanks for watching and have a great day.